The special meeting for board reorganization is now called to order. We will save the pledge for the board meeting. Ms. Bass, will you please call the roll?
District 1, Barbara McQuinn. Here. District 2, Chuck Shaw.
Here.
District 3, Karen Brill. Here. District 4, Erica Whitfield. Here. District 5, Frank Barbieri.
Here.
District 6, Marcia Andrews.
Here.
District 7, Deborah Robinson.
As superintendent of schools, it will be my duty and honor to preside over this meeting as secretary of the board, as stipulated in Florida statutes. As we do not have a swearing-in ceremony, we will move directly to the organizational portion of the meeting, which will include the selection of the school board chair and vice chair. Once the voting is complete, I will turn the meeting over to the board chair, who will then preside over the remaining of the meeting. We will now move to new business and begin by calling for the nominations for school board chair and vice chair. The floor is now open for nominations for board chair. Ms. Brill?
I nominate Mr. Barbieri.
Ms. That's duly noted. Ms. Andrews?
It's already been nominated.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, the nominations for board chair are now closed. The nominees are Mr. Barbieri. Don't laugh at me. Each board member will cast one vote for their choice of board chair. The clerk will now conduct a roll call vote, and following will tally the votes.
District 1, Barbara McQuinn. How do you vote?
Mr. Barbieri.
District 2, Chuck Shaw.
Mr. Barbieri.
District 3, Karen Brill.
Mr. Barbieri.
District 4, Erica Whitfield.
Mr. Barbieri.
District 5, Frank Barbieri.
Mr. Barbieri.
District 6, Marcia Andrews.
Mr. Barbieri.
District 7, Deborah Robinson.
Make it unanimous.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to announce that Mr. Barbieri will be the board chair for the upcoming school year.
Thank you, board members.
The floor is now open for nominations for board vice chair. Ms. Whitfield,
I would like to nominate myself.
any other nominations? Ms. Brill,
I nominate Mr. Shaw.
any other nominations? Seeing none, the nominations for board vice chair are now closed. Each board member will cast one vote for their choice of board vice chair. The clerk will now conduct a roll call vote, and following will tally the votes.
District 1, Barbara McQuinn.
Chuck Shaw.
District 2, Chuck Shaw.
Chuck Shaw.
District 3, Karen Brill.
Mr. Shaw.
District 4, Erica Whitfield.
I'm gonna vote for myself.
District 5, Frank Barbieri.
Mr. Shaw.
District 6, Marcia Andrews.
Mr. Shaw.
District 7, Deborah Robinson.
Chuck Shaw.
I am pleased to announce that Mr. Chuck Shaw will be the board vice chair for the upcoming year.
Congratulations, Mr. Shaw.
Congratulations. At this time, I will turn the meeting over to the school board chairman, Mr. Frank Barbieri.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. All right, the next item on the agenda will be a recommendation. I recommend the board approve the proposed list of dates for the 2020 regular board meetings. We need a motion. Mr. Shaw, seconded by Mrs. Andrews. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. I recommend the board authorize the chair and superintendent to complete and execute the documents required by Florida Statute 1001.371 relating to this reorganization meeting, including a copy of the unadopted minutes of this meeting, and to forward and file them with the Florida Department of Education. Motion by Mrs. Andrews, seconded by Dr. Robinson. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. I recommend the board review and approve the list of school board committee assignments for 2020. Let's do that one first. I recommend the board review and approve the list of school board committee assignments for 2020. So if we want to go down the list and see if anybody is interested in swapping or changing. American Association of Caregiving Youth. Ms. McQuinn, you want to stay there? Yes. The alternate is Mrs. Andrews. Audit Committee, I'd like to keep that one. unless somebody else wants it badly. And Mrs. Whitfield, you're the alternate. You want to keep that?
Yes, please.
Center for Creative Education Board of Directors.
Actually, I think this is me. I think it's been me. I don't think Mrs. McQuinn's there.
That's an error.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd my pen go? I got it. Children's Services Council. Dr. Robinson shaking her head. She wants to keep that. Communities and Schools. Mrs. Andrews. Community Alliance. Ms. Brill. Construction Oversight Review Committee. I've been going to that one. I'll continue unless somebody else wants that. Dr. Robinson's the alternate. Do you want to keep that, Doc? Okay. Council of Great City Schools. Mrs. Andrews. Dr. Robinson, yes. Criminal Justice Commission. Mrs. Andrews. Mrs. Whitfield is the alternate. Yes.
Yes, please.
Cultural Council Board of Directors. Ms. McQuinn? Yes. The Institute for Cultural Advancement, Upstarts Educators. Ms. McQuinn. Early Learning Coalition of Palm Beach County.
I'd love to keep it, yeah.
Ms. Whitfield.
Mhm.
Mrs. Andrews, you're the backup. The Education Foundation. Ms. Brill shaking her head, yes.
I still want it next year. I'm putting that out there now when Mrs. Brill's not here anymore.
Okay. Families First of Palm Beach County. Ms. McQuinn. Federal Relations Network. Mrs. Andrews. Ms. Brill. Finance Committee. Ms. McQuinn. FSBA Florida School Labor Relations Services Board of Directors. Shaw, you want to keep that one? Florida School Board Association Board of Directors. Mr. Shaw, if you don't mind, I would like to have that.
Okay, I was going to say, my term ends on that at the end of this current school year. So
Okay.
next June, that, we are our own district,
Okay,
so
so you'll serve through June?
through June.
Okay, and then I'll take over, and then Mrs. Andrews will be the alternate behind me. Is that okay with the board? So we don't have to vote again in June? Okay,
Technically, you will at the FSBA meeting.
okay. Okay, all right, fine. FSBA Legislative Committee, Mrs. Andrews? Ms. Brill is the alternate?
I'm fine doing it. If someone else wants it, they can have it, but, I'm fine staying there. It's just I have a few conflicts with Leadership Florida, so I won't be, for example, at the next meeting in December because the following week I'm going to be in the same place. So
I'll be there. I can take it if you want.
Okay, Mrs. Whitfield.
That's the labor, sorry.
Blades Career Readiness Roundtable, Mrs. Andrews. Ms. Whitfield, backup. Yes, Ms. Whitfield?
Yes.
Hispanic Education Coalition, Palm Beach County, Mrs. Andrews. Dr. Robinson? Historical Society of Palm Beach County Board of Governors.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Do you want that, Dr. Robinson?
Yeah, I'll stay there.
Ms. Whitfield, do you want to keep the backup?
Sure, yeah.
Homeless Advisory Board, Mrs. Whitfield?
Yeah, I like it.
Ms. McQuinn, yes. Intergovernmental Coordination Program, Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Ms. Whitfield?
Yes, not that I've ever been.
Independent Referendum Oversight Committee, Ms. Brill? Backup Andrews?
Can I just say, though, I think for these two, we should rotate on the IROC and ISOC. I would love to see what happens there sometimes.
Actually, the meetings are open to everybody to be there anyway. So they always announce that other board members may be there.
Oh,
So
okay, well, then I
yeah,
guess
so
we
you
just
should
need the
just
dates.
come when you want to come.
Okay.
ISOC, Brill and Andrews. Juvenile Justice Commission, Ms. Andrews, Ms. Whitfield,
Sure,
Juvenile Justice.
Mhm.
Pine Job Board of Directors, Mr. Shaw.
Yes.
okay.
School Health Advisory Council, Ms. Brill, yes. Ms. Whitfield, yes. Technology Advisory Committee, Ms. McQuinn. Take Stock in Children, Mrs. Andrews, Ms. Whitfield. Treasure Coast Work Group, Ms. McQuinn. Treasure Coast Regional Planning Council, Ms. Whitfield.
So I never got reappointed last year because they made me reappoint when DeSantis came in. So I put in that paperwork, but they didn't get around to reviewing it. So I'm not officially on it right now. I don't know if they'll, this session, because at the end of session they no longer do it. So maybe at this session they'll go and decide to do it again. I don't know. We could put it as a holding spot.
Okay.
It's a governor appointed.
So do we have to apply? Does somebody have to apply?
I did
Okay.
apply.
So you
They
applied-
just didn't. I did apply, and they didn't review it in time to before session ended. So now I probably will have to reapply again, and I will.
Okay,
But-
all right. And Ms. McQuinn, you want to be the backup, I guess? Is there a possibility of having a backup yet? Urban League of Palm Beach County, Dr. Robinson? No?
We can take that off the list, because as it happens, as I recall, the follow-up from that, the Urban League actually does not have a seat designated for a school board member. So, you're right. I think Dr. Fenoy is on the board, but, so that was just a mislead, I think.
Okay. Value Adjustment Board, I serve on there. Currently, I'm the vice chair. Mr. Shaw is the first backup, and Ms. Whitfield's the second backup. Okay? And the last one is the Wellness Promotion Task Force. Ms. Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes. And Mrs. Andrews? We need a motion to approve all of those. One motion by Mrs. Andrews, seconded by Dr. Robinson. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Yes, I recommend the board reappoint Stormit Norm as the business community representative to the Value Adjustment Board. We need a recommendation by, a motion by Ms. Brill, seconded by Mrs. Andrews. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Need a motion to adjourn the reorg meeting. Motion by Mrs. Andrews, seconded by Mr. Shaw. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. The meeting is adjourned. We'll reconvene at 5 o'clock for the regular board meeting.